Hey guys, it's Landon. And this week's theme is being trans slash coming out in school or work. Um, I came out at school in I think like February probably. And the way my school works is that we had gym for the first semester, then the second semester we had health, then gym, then health. So the first semester I had gym and I had to change in the girls' locker room, and it was stupid, but it was alright. Um, like it was uncomfortable, but it wasn't horrible. And then the second semester we didn't have gym, but by that time that was around Christmas, so I had come out to like my friends and stuff, and I'd gotten my binder and everything. So by the time it was February and we were going back to gym, I didn't want to have to change to the girls' locker room, so that's why I kind of came out. So what I did was, Jillian already knew, um, just because we were friends and she follows me on Tumblr and stuff and she knows. And my friend Joel had known because we were in a band together, and before I even met him I told him just so it wasn't like weird or confusing for him. And I don't since last year was my first year at that high school, I didn't know that many people, so like I remember I think right before I'd come out to like the teachers and stuff, I had told like my like small group of friends because they were talking about like transgender stuff, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm trans because that's what I identified was with at that time, and they were just like, oh okay, and they didn't get it at all. So like I just like later on that day, like I just texted them and like told them everything, but they were totally cool with it, and yeah. So what I had my mom call the school and talk to the guidance counselor, who had a meeting with me, the guidance counselor, the adjustment counselor, and like the school therapist. And it was mostly for their sake, kind of, because like obviously I like wasn't having problems with anyone and no one like cared, but it was their first time like dealing with that stuff. Like it was totally new to them and they were like freaked out, kind of. Well, not freaked out, but they didn't want to mess anything up like while they were doing stuff. So they said that I had to use the nurse's bathroom, which during shop week was convenient because we're like right across the hall from the nurse's office. So like that was not a problem, but all my classes last year were on the second floor of the school and the nurse's office was on the first floor of the school. So like if I was going to go to the bathroom, I'd have to walk all the way downstairs, go to the nurse's office, and then go all the way back up. And then like people would ask like, oh, why are you going there? I mean, they didn't, but like they would have asked. So on I just figured, I remember I was like complaining to my friends and he was like, why don't you just use the guy's bathroom, like no one cares. So I had been doing that, and I didn't like tell any other people, like the counselors or anything I was using the guy's bathroom, because they would have like freaked out and they were like, oh, it might make other people uncomfortable and you might get beat up or whatever, but it wasn't a problem at all, no one said anything. It would be weirder and more uncomfortable for people if I went to the nurse's office every time I had to go pee or something. So that was fine. Um, so after I had the meeting with like the school with the counselors and stuff, the school therapist was like, "Do you want to go to all your teachers right now with me and we can tell them face to face, or I could just email them?" And I was like, "You should email them and just tell them what's going on." And they were like, "Okay, that's fine." Um, like, okay, we'll use male pronouns and we'll call him Landon and stuff. And the next day when I went to school, all my teachers before I walked in were like, "Do you want me to make an announcement or whatever?" And I was like, "No, like, I don't know. I don't draw attention so much to it. Like, it's not a huge, um, like burden on me. I guess. Like, I don't really think about that much. So I didn't want other people to think of it as like that's like who I was. So I just said, yeah, just start calling me by my name, and like other people will catch on, obviously, and if they don't, they'll ask me, and I'll just tell them because I don't really care. And a couple people did, and they were just like, "Oh, that's cool." Some people, like, more people just didn't understand, and I'd explain it to them. But I mean, I think one thing was that it wasn't like a shock for anyone, and it wasn't like people like were mean about it. They just didn't understand, and I just told them about it, and they were like, "Oh, okay, whatever." And I don't know. I don't talk about it that much, so it's not like a huge thing. And I don't think other people really talk about that much either. Um, as far as like the preschoolers who we work with, um, they didn't know my name to begin with, really. Like, one of them did, and then I told them, I was like, "Oh, it's not my name anymore," and they were like, "Okay." Like they're 4, they don't care. Like, I think that my shop teachers, who I don't like, they're not. We're not a good match, I guess. I don't know. I'll straight up say I don't like them, and I don't know. They were alright, but they were just like, I just don't know how the kids are gonna react or whatever, and like they're like 3 and 4. They don't even remember like a week ago, so they didn't care. Um, but yeah, mostly the only time I don't have problems at school, but like every couple weeks, the therapist will call me down and like touch base with me because she said it's mostly for her because she's like, when I got on T, she kind of wanted to like go along the process with me, so just in case there's another trans kid or whatever, that like she would know and she wanted to get more information on it, which was cool. So I had to like, I don't know, I kind of had to do everything, and I think that me and my mom were talking about it earlier that we kind of did it perfectly. And as far as work, I used to work at Dairy Queen, and I started in September, so I wasn't out, like, I was still going by my birth name and everything, and I had kind of, like, I don't know, one of the reasons why I quit was because, um, well, we're all wearing, like, the same uniform, and even though I don't usually get misgendered, I do sometimes, which is kind of weird, because I don't know, but I guess because we're all wearing the same uniforms, but that was just something that caused me a lot of like stress and stuff and anxiety. So I quit last week. I might work like one more time, but no, I quit. So basically, yeah, I started in September probably, and I just totally avoided like telling them. I don't think I even did tell them really. But I guess people have been talking like, oh, they're gonna change their name or whatever, and so one of the like assistant managers, who's like this like 20-something-year-old girl, was like, "Hey, I just heard that you were changing your name or whatever. Do you want me to use male pronouns and use your name?" I'm like, "Yeah, that'd be great." And my bosses were like, I went up to one of them and was like, "Hey, just so you know, I'm changing my name legally, so I need to talk to you about like the paychecks and stuff." And he was like, "Okay, bring in the documents." And I never did, so all my paychecks still say my birth name, but I don't know, they're getting cashed in, so it doesn't really matter to me. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't like discrimination or anything. I just quit because I just kind of want a fresh start. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So this video is kind of long. Next week, depending on the topic, I might do my video with like my mom or my friend or something. So yeah, see you guys next week.